Hello and welcome to our Salesforce United episode, a podcast about Salesforce and people who work with it. Here we discuss engineering discoveries, professional secrets, and careers of our guests. I'm Olga Dmitrieva, a Salesforce software testing engineer, and to my delight, your host.
Hello, my name is Elena Ulyanova. I'm a testing and Salesforce enthusiast, Salesforce consultant, and for my pleasure, the host of this Salesforce United podcast.
In this session, we are exploring how even in a cloud-dominated landscape like Salesforce, DevOps remains essential for efficient application building and management. Joining us are Rishabh Sharma and Sumit Kumar, seasoned lead systems engineers from EPAM, who bring a wealth of knowledge and first-hand experience in maintaining this delicate equilibrium. This episode will provide valuable insights for everyone involved in Salesforce development or interested in how DevOps fits into cloud platforms. Rishabh, Sumit, it's a great pleasure having you today here with us.
Thanks, Elena, for inviting us here. And we are talking about something which is not very much talked about, say Salesforce DevOps in Salesforce ecosystem. Yeah, it's a great platform to actually talk about this. And I'm looking forward to the questions and this interview.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sumit Kumar. My domain is Salesforce DevOps, which we are talking about today, which is slightly different with the core DevOps, which most of the companies deal with. So let's see how the Salesforce DevOps is different and what are the opportunities we have in this domain.
Hello guys, nice to meet you. So we have a great topic to discuss today, and as the first point, let's discuss how did you first become interested actually in a DevOps engineer position in Salesforce, and what drew you to this career path?
So it's actually kind of interesting thing that I never knew what DevOps was when I first joined my first ever company. And when they started teaching us about what DevOps is, it was kind of intriguing that how we all knew how to code, how to test, but never knew how to deploy the code and how to automate the deployment. And that was the point when I was really intrigued and got into DevOps position, like this DevOps role. And since then, I have been working in this domain and I'm learning every day new things.
Yeah, so for me, I started as a Salesforce developer. So in my early days, so my training was in Salesforce ecosystem only. But in my project, when I was working as a developer, we had to like that days we were using the chain set for the deployment, and luckily, or you say unwillingly, I had to move into the Salesforce DevOps because no one was there are many developers in the team, but no one knows or no one are interested earlier in the DevOps because they think it's a limited opportunity in that position. But Salesforce DevOps is not just moving the changes from one sandbox to another environment. It deals with more before developer come into picture. So like from the planning of the project, the release of the project. So it's DevOps is a wide prospect. So that's why I was interested, because it gives us like a wider picture on the project and to understand what's the client request is, their client's requirement, what the user needs. So we deal with the business user, we deal with all you can say aspect of the team. So that's why I continued my journey into DevOps and I am here right now.
Okay, Sumit. And could you please tell our audience so that they can better understand how Salesforce DevOps is different from traditional DevOps in IT systems?
In Salesforce DevOps, we have multiple tools. Earlier, we were not having more tools when traditional IT DevOps tool was in place. So we started with using traditional DevOps tools like Jenkins and other CI/CD tools, which were there in the picture like earlier, that is for moving the Java code to other environment. But with the Salesforce DevOps, when the actual tools of which were built on the Salesforce native platform that came in the picture. So to use that, a DevOps should know the knowledge of the Salesforce metadata, Salesforce structure, what are the data model in that. But in the also the Salesforce DevOps tool is on the cloud, which the traditional tools are not is missing right now. They are not all are on the cloud premises. These are the quite basic difference.
I think what you said, it's exactly what I was about to say, that how traditional DevOps is only related to migrating the code, whereas Salesforce is actually, it brings a lot of complexities. When the person has to know about Salesforce, only then they'll be able to deploy it. Not everyone can actually do the deployment.
Okay, thanks. So, Rishabh, based on your experience, why is DevOps particularly necessary for Salesforce implementation?
So this is a very good question, where even right now our release managers, DevOps engineer have to say that to the stakeholders that why Salesforce need a dedicated DevOps or release management team is because, for example, you can cook the food, but you need to deliver it really well on the dish, and that's what the DevOps people do. They actually manage to deliver the code in a clean, systematic, and on time, and ready to test it code. If I dig a bit deep into the technicalities, we actually have to know what are the prerequisites before the deployment, or what are the post-requisite steps are required for the deployment. And that's one of the major reasons we need DevOps DevOps into a Salesforce project or a implementation. And also, it's just not releasing the one code, because Salesforce has its own releases every time. So they need an actual team to see what are the changes Salesforce is bringing, how it will be changing the ongoing development or ongoing releases. So we need a DevOps culture or kind of a system in the implementation, which is very, very necessary for the successful project.
Okay, that is really interesting. And what specific tools and technologies do you use to manage and automate deployments in Salesforce? Sumit, this question is to you.
Yeah, so earlier in the days when DevOps tools were not there, people used to move using ChainSet, which was a Salesforce native tool, but that was causing a lot of delays or override in the moving code from one environment to another, and we were not able to do much with the, you can say, DevOps process. It was just moving the code, and even that there were many components which team used to do as a manual steps, as a post deployment steps, you can say, or the pre steps also sometimes, moving the community portal or the standard pick list value set, those kind of things like standard metadata. Team were not able to move to the chain set. So then team was evolving with the automation tools. To first, I think the reason was to do the faster deployments, because with the chain set it was very slow. Like if the one chain set fails, team has to rebuild it again, validate it again, and then again deploy it. So with the automated tools, now we have faster deployments, much more. So more changes can go to production earlier, in the shorter time, you can say. We have fewer bugs due to we don't override other changes which are existing, so there are less bugs after deployment. Better collaboration between the teams, one developer can see what are the other changes done by the other developer or other module teams. So in that, we have right now 3-4 common tools. We have Flowsum, AutoRabbit, Copado. So these are the tools which are mainly built for the Salesforce DevOps practices. In this, we from not just deployments, they also take care of the automated testing, and then user management and data load, those kind of things. Also, these tools take care.
Okay, Rishabh, and what's about your experience?
Yeah, what Sumit actually said, it's very, very similar, because Salesforce DevOps have evolved from a very minimal thing to now a very big market as well. There are a lot of tools which we use. Major tools are Copado, which is a very big native enterprise tool for Copado, or for Salesforce, sorry, where we can actually do not just deployment, but a lot of other things. For example, testing and collaboration, third party integration, and there are a lot of tools which we can actually use according to the usage and the number of the scale of the team which we have. So for example is our Copado gear set, Sumit said, Flossom. And if you're a big nerd like me, we also have CLI, some plugins which we have way more compatibilities. For example, there is Hardest plugin, and there is DX Scale. So you can take it deep into it if you really have a heart and curiosity. There are a lot of tools available in the market. You can upskill and use them very efficiently.
Great. So really great experience in DevOps and tools. But maybe, Rishabh, you can name some common challenges you faced as a Salesforce DevOps engineer, and actually how you overcame those.
So I would say there are a lot of challenges which Salesforce DevOps, or generally DevOps person, has to actually overcome. Is first is technology, but technology still can be learned. But other is, I think, in my personal opinion, is team collaboration, to actually collaborate with the team and make them understand the changes or new things coming into the process, making them understand the process, because not everyone is same. Everyone has their own learning curve. Everyone has their own curiosity, whether they want to meld towards the new process they want to understand. And another thing is, which other part of this thing is people. When we talk about stakeholders, we have to let them know that what is important for the project, because stakeholders are not very technical. And to overcome this major problem is I usually what do is I create an analysis, a quantifying analysis, so that stakeholder and team can see how things are getting better if we actually adapt it, and if we keep on doing it, how the metric and KPIs will be increased, how our efficiency and the cost will be reduced. For example, if we are automating some things, obviously the hours from the people or the engineers will be reduced and stakeholders will be happy. So this is one of the major issue which I still face, and I think I'll still keep on facing, because their team is made up of different people. Everyone has their own opinion, and it is our job to actually collaborate with dev operation side and make the whole system come into one place.
Okay, thank you. I need to move from challenges and problems to some nice point. I mean, successful cases. Can you share any successful cases where DevOps practices significantly improved a Salesforce project?
So in every Salesforce project, like when DevOps, sometimes like when we initiate a greenfield project, like when the Salesforce production is not in place, or many companies are like right now migrating from their old legacy system to the Salesforce, and they want to move their data model or the complete data set to the Salesforce. In that, if they don't have any DevOps practice, I'm not pointing to any particular tool, but it's just not like a tool, but with the DevOps practice, with the tools, it's also come with the you can say discipline. So like if we have a UAT environment or the UAT testing going on, and the DevOps practice, if they don't follow and they just keep deploying code from one environment to another without having any window, so it can like also so if you are deploying one fixage, but it can override and it can also impact another fixage going on. For example, if someone is testing a layout changes and I am deploying simultaneously the same layout into that environment, so team might be seeing some additional changes which they are not expecting. So in that case, we have to be like implement some DevOps practice with some timelines, or the sometimes downtime as well, which like downtime is mainly for we keep for production deployments, but for even for UAT or the QA, there should be some DevOps practice involved. As a use case, I would say like I implemented one of the project. For me, it was the biggest project because it was executed for 1 year. So in one of my previous organization, we were just segregating one of the module, or you can say one of the business unit from the existing one. So we have to create their own separate sandbox, separate production. So we have to make sure that we are not like migrating all the data related to the we only need to migrate the related data for that particular business unit. So in that, if we don't have the DevOps practice, like we don't have the we have to like find out what are the code base for that particular business unit. In that, DevOps also comes in the picture. So we find out like what are the regression tests needed for that business unit, what are the user setup, or what are the data models specifically for that particular business unit. So we only deploy those things, and if we have like moved some other, so we have to clean up the code as well as a DevOps practice.
Okay, let's speak a bit about misconceptions now. What are the most common ones about DevOps that you have encountered when working with Salesforce clients? Rishabh?
I think one of the things which a lot of people think DevOps is all about tools in Salesforce, but the biggest thing is DevOps is just not tools or CI/CD. It's more kind of a practice or kind of a culture that you have to implement in your life cycle, software development life cycle. It's just not a part, and it's just not related to one team. DevOps is actually include all of the teams in the team, in the whole project development, be it testing, managers, everyone is involved in the DevOps one. It's just not related to if a guy is engineer, he has to do everything. Well, another thing which I've actually encountered is that DevOps, if a lot of client thinks that DevOps is there, the pipeline is there, the job is finished. DevOps is never perfect. It keeps on evolving. It's more kind of a ongoing thing which will happen at every stage of the project. So DevOps, it's not like if we developed a feature and it's finished. It's never like that. We have to follow this practice all throughout the project, and only then the whole fruit will come out to be worth it. Because if we just put it one thing and think that everything will be fine, that's not how DevOps work. I think this is one of the major thing which people have. Biggest misconception is that DevOps is just deployment. It's just deploying the code. In fact, it's a very big cultural thing in a project that everything has to go through a process.
Okay, so we see that from the one point of view, DevOps position is not that easy, and not everyone can be a DevOps on a Salesforce project. And at the same time, there are some misconceptions. But I would like to ask about the people who would like to intend to become a DevOps. Would you recommend any kind of resources for ongoing education if someone would like to become a DevOps on a Salesforce project?
Yeah, so if you are just specifically talking about the Salesforce DevOps, so apart from Salesforce DevOps tool, first they have to be in the Salesforce ecosystem. They need to understand the Salesforce metadata structure, Salesforce API, how it works, how it integrates with the another system. Because as a DevOps, you have to deal with everything. You have to deploy the code, you have to integrate with the third-party integration like MuleSoft or the master data. You have to keep them switching into different sandboxes based on the requirement, and then later on tools come. So like we were mentioning earlier, the 𝐒𝐿, Copado, or even our like custom tools someone can build. The like Rishabh was saying that he have built some plugin. So those tools to learn like from the tools, they have their own community. They are having their own like even playgrounds available in which they can move the code from one sandbox to another sandbox or learn about the Salesforce metadata as well. So like for Copado, they have their different community. For Flowsum, they have different community. AutoRabbit is having the academy portal, in which I think right now they have integrated with Trailhead as well. So they can start with the Trailhead to learn about the Salesforce. They can move to the different community for the different tools, and for the basic, they can learn with the side like scripting language sometimes, so that if they have to work with the Jenkins and the CI/CD pipeline, if they have to like build their own YML files, then they need some kind of scripting language which will help them. Like we mentioned earlier, like Salesforce always comes with the 3 releases a year, and in that sometimes they deprive some components which will not be in use in future. Sometimes they will enhance some new components. So as a DevOps, we need to know how we will move these components to the higher environments. For example, there are some Omni Studio or Velocity components for which deployment process is a little different. Sometimes for the community or the portal, we need to understand what are the dependent components which we need to move. Otherwise, if you move just sometimes if you move just one component and another, like for example in the template, if you just move the template but the attachment is missing, it will not work. So those kind of things also we need to understand and keep on learning what are the new components coming.
I think what Sumit said was completely true. The first step is to learn Salesforce. If you are coming into Salesforce ecosystem, come and learn Salesforce, how Salesforce works. There are free resources for Salesforce. You can simply go to Salesforce website, sign up and start learning. Once you know how to know the Salesforce, then there are different tools which are native Salesforce. Salesforce will guide you towards that tool, and those tools also have their own community backgrounds. You can actually work it, but first step is to learn Salesforce. Then you will know how Salesforce works, and then the second step will come to learn these tools which we were talking about, Copado, Flossom, other ones. But it will be step by step. Salesforce is the first main thing. Anyone can learn Salesforce, and that's how where your all the other doors will get open.
Okay, one of the nowadays trend is artificial intelligence through all the tools and all the technologies. So looking ahead, how do you see the role of artificial intelligence and machine learning influencing the DevOps practices, especially in Salesforce projects?
Since we all know that AI and machine learning is quite new, and Salesforce is also adapting it to it, from especially Salesforce DevOps perspective, it is getting slowly getting adapted, not like really much into it. For example, that if you wanna search for a template or some kind of a strategy, you can actually ask the AI, and there are, like, for example, for Copado GPT, there is their own dedicated AI model where you can actually tell them that I'm having this kind of issue with your tool, what can I do? And it will automatically tell you what needs to be done, what could be the challenges. And in fact, you can even tell them that I have these kind of requirements. What should I do? Can you suggest me something? And it will actually suggest. And as I'm seeing how it is pacing through it, I feel that in these tools where we are doing a bit of manual work, they will be replaced by a lot of automated AI tasks where we don't even have to give that much of attention, or commands where we are putting some time into. For example, scripting as well. AI will already write it by itself. It's still doing it right now. When you just give them command and give some instruction, it will write the whole script for you. So I feel that, yeah, it is getting on a right track, and we will see a lot of engagement of machine learning and AI.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for tuning into today's episode. Special thanks to our guests, Rishabh Sharma and Sumit Kumar from EPAM for sharing their invaluable insights on DevOps within the Salesforce ecosystem.
Thanks, everyone. It was really nice to talk to you and answer these interesting questions. And I really hope we actually encourage few other people to get more into Salesforce DevOps and learn more about it. And best of luck if you guys are looking for a career start or exploring Salesforce DevOps.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you guys for the conversation. Thank you, dear listeners, for being with us. As always, we will be very happy to receive any comments, questions, and ideas. And if you liked the podcast, please rate it on the platform and share with your friends. Till very soon, till the next interesting podcast. Stay tuned.
Please, until then, keep trailblazing. Goodbye.